everyone, and welcome back to the vlog. We are walking down the river walk for the very first time together, and we're about to embark into something new that we both have never done before. So let's just take a stroll down this beautiful walkway and tell you about what we're going to get ourselves into.
We've lived here for way too many decades to not have ever done what we're about to do. We're finally taking an architecture tour, but not just any architecture tour. We're taking it with the iconic Chicago Fireboat tour. It's red, it's iconic, it's literally a piece of history here in Chicago. We'll tell you more about it, we'll show you, but guys, I don't think you understand how stinking excited we are to do this. We're very honored to go show you all. All right, let's go.
All right, guys, so we're about to hop on the Fred A. Busse, which is a historical Chicago fireboat. We're so excited. There's no better way to learn about Chicago's architecture than hopping on a historical boat and getting to see these beautiful buildings as you ride through the river.
Fun fact, Fred A. Busse was actually named after 39th mayor of Chicago. And also, when it was put into use here in Chicago in 1937, it was actually the largest in the world diesel-powered boat. So this is a piece of history we're getting on to get this tour. It's not just like any other boat that you can get an architecture tour. This is literally a piece of Chicago history, which makes it even more exciting, I guess. It's a piece of Chicago. All right, guys, we finally made it inside the Fred A. Busse. I don't know who let him in here, because this is the person that does not need to be behind the steering wheel of anything, let alone a boat.
So along the wall, there are photos of the boat in action. Also, you'll see all these patches around the boat. These patches signify first responders that have visited and gone on tours on this exact boat we're on. And they have two bathrooms here.
As you can see, at least the back end or the front end, I don't know which end of it is, but either way it's covered. So if you want to do the tour and it's raining or whatever, it's covered. You have nothing to worry about. Also, they have a bar here, so if you want to drink a cold brewski, like they have a bar here, so you're not gonna go thirsty or hungry.
Welcome to the retired Chicago Fire Engine 41 Fred A. Busse. Crew today is myself, I'm Captain Matt, your deckhand is Maya, as well as Captain Ray, your bartender is Captain Eric. Captain Ray and Captain Eric, if you didn't know, are the owners and operators of the boat, both Navy vets. And last but not least, the man of the hour, the person you all came here to see, Austin. He's going to be your tour guide. Please sit back and enjoy. Our departure time will be shortly. In 3, 2, 1.
And that's my cue. Welcome aboard, everybody, to the Fred A.
Warms up. All of these buoys you see on the right-hand side are going to be basically the anchor point for skyscraper with the two white antennae, similar to the John Hancock building, because that is the actual Sears Tower, spelled W-I-L-L-I-S. And in fact, if you climb the Sears Tower, our viewing platform up there is the tallest viewing platform in the country, even though it's not the tallest building in the country anymore. But as we exit Monroe Harbor, I'd like to officially welcome you all to Lake Michigan. Now, Michigan is not the biggest lake, that belongs to Superior, but she is an absolutely monstrous lake. From north to south, she's about 118 miles long. Speaking of enjoying the view, directly ahead of us is Chicago's preeminent tourist destination, Navy Pier. Now, Navy Pier entered service all the way back in 1916 as a shipping pier. My name's Austin. I'm wearing a red beanie. I've been described as a Walmart version of Top Gun, a title that I wear with pride. So feel free to ask any questions, and we'll continue the tour in just a few minutes.
What's going to happen is this bridge is going to open. The boat can go through, but as we go through, the water lowers. So we're actually at the river height. Because right now, Lake Michigan, so this helps regulate the water. We didn't even know this existed, so we're kind of excited to watch it. Funny enough, the area that we're sitting and waiting for the gate to open is actually a federal lake. You're not allowed to set foot on this.
If you guys see this sidewalk right there, if I so happen to jump off this boat onto that sidewalk, I will go straight to jail for breaking a federal law.
Sorry, we can't afford a Streeterville lawyer, so I'll be your defense attorney. I'm like, he's guilty. What? You don't pay me enough?
Alright guys, while we wait for the locks to open up, I figured I'd give you guys some quick facts of what we've learned. So we were just on Lake Michigan, and it happens to be that Chicago has the country's most amount of parks. We have 266 parks. And that's the cue that the gates open. So let's continue the tour, and we'll catch you up a little bit more afterwards.
And we're off. Okay, in particular, all of the fireboats in the city of Chicago, including the one you're riding, are icebreakers. The Busse herself is a 3/4 inch reinforced steel hull, and that's because, as you may have noticed, it can get rather cold in Chicago. Additionally, though, all of the bridges that we're passing underneath here are important for cars, for trains, and for pedestrians. So if you see people crossing the bridges, please wave to them and say hi, because we like to foster a friendly environment on the river. And we are a big red boat that people like to wave at. So definitely if you see people, wave to them on the Riverwalk as well. Now the area ahead of us is one of the most famous views in the city. It's called the main branch of the river. So grab your cameras now and take some really great photos while you have the opportunity. See that with those windows? They have a lovely green window tint. Now that's an example of contextualism. In architecture, contextualism is when you take into account where you are building a building when you build it. So that greenish window tint, that's actually referencing the main branch of the river itself, because the main branch is a lovely green color. Directly ahead of us is the second tallest building in the city, topping out at 1,400 feet. And oh, I always forget its name. If only there was a sign that could remind me. Oh yes, Trump Tower. Like I said, Trump Tower is the second tallest building in the city, and its height does include the spire. So unlike its concrete, steel, and glass neighbors, it cannot be power washed. It has to be hand washed once a year to preserve that facade. A huge labor, but it's a labor of love because it is an icon. I will remind you that our entire city burned down in 1871, so it doesn't get much older than that here in the city of Chicago. Also on the right-hand side, you can see the Apple Store shaped like a giant MacBook. Now, did this protect them from the mob? Well, Al Capone did have an office in that building, so I'm not 100% sure, but it's still an interesting piece of historical trivia. It's very simple by comparison. It's the IBM Tower design. Sample of Art Deco architecture was finished in 1930 and was the biggest building on the planet until the construction of the Pentagon in Washington, D.C. It is a temple to merchandise, aesthetic photo features beneath the Nederlander or Chicago theater signs. That's where you need to go. Pause for laughter. They hemmed and they hawed until like 15 foot.
Alright guys, so we just docked, we just got off the boat. let's have some honest reviews, guys. I can tell you right now, it's probably one of the best things we've ever done. Not just in Chicago, just probably in general and experience-wise. Like, that was so fun. The best part about this is that they combine the history of Chicago and the architecture. And guys, they go hand in hand. Like, and plus, another part about it is that you're actually in a vessel that is a huge part of Chicago's history. So it's not just another boat or something like that. Nothing wrong with those. But the point is, there's a connection to the city that you're learning about in the architecture, and we learned so much stuff.
The fireboat that we were on played a huge role in keeping Chicago safe and sound. I mean, back then, before the Riverwalk became what we know now, which is the restaurants, the walkway, it used to be a huge stockyard. And back then, a lot of lumber would catch on fire. So this fireboat would set sail into the river and release 10,000 gallons of water per minute to put out these fires.
And when we say it's built for Chicago, you guys have to realize Chicago's filled with many bridges. And back then, all boats were steam piled. So they had the huge towers on top of them. They would have to wait for a bridge to lift before they could go help. This fireboat, however, was built with none of that, so it could fit underneath the bridge, which, I mean, guys, when something's burning, you don't have time to wait to help people. So this boat was like, it was such an integral turning point for Chicago.
Let's be honest, it's been so much fun being tourists in our own cities, and never would I have thought I'd be doing a architecture tour. And I'm so mad at myself for waiting this long to have done it. Would you agree?
Yeah, but you know what? All good things wait. I don't know if that's the same, but I just said it, so it means it works. Get over it.
Also, it just puts us into what's the word I'm looking for? It puts me in a good mood, and it reminds me that I don't know everything, and there's so much to Chicago. I don't know smartass. I don't know much about Chicago, so having done this boat tour really opened up my eyes to the way Chicago was constructed and what makes its beauty what it is now.
So our time is done. I'm sad. We're sad. We wanted to last longer. But anyway, point is, we had an amazing time. We would love to thank the entire crew. To everybody, the owners are actually retired servicemen. They were amazing. Austin, our tour guide, one of the best tour guides we've ever had. But I would not only suggest you to take an architecture tour, take the Chicago Fireboat, the Fred A. Busse, take it. It was one of the best things we've ever done.
And with that being said, thank you so much. Be sure to like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, and we'll catch you on the next one.